Karen thought she could park across my garage whenever she pleased until the day I used my forklift to teach her a lesson. She called the cops, screamed about vandalism, and tried to play the victim, but the footage said otherwise. From that moment on, the entire neighborhood saw her in a whole new light. And this was only the beginning. When you've worked hard to build a quiet life, the last thing you want is someone like Karen for a neighbor. I live in a small cul-de-sac where everyone generally respects each other's space except her. Karen moved in about a year ago. Within weeks, she was already complaining about unapproved decorations, kids' bikes left in driveways, and even once left a note on someone's mailbox because it wasn't regulation color. The kicker? We don't even have an HOA. Still, we all tried to be cordial, until she decided my garage was her personal overflow parking space. It started small. Her adult son's car would show up in front of my driveway for a few minutes while they shuffled vehicles. Then it turned into hours. One morning, I found her SUV parked directly across my garage, blocking me in. I rang her doorbell and asked her kindly to move it.
"I'll just be a minute,"
she said, waving me off. 30 minutes later, I was still trapped. When I knocked again, she said,
"You're overreacting. There's plenty of room to wait. Just relax."
That was the last straw. I'm a mechanic. I run a small auto repair shop, and next to my house is my private workshop with a massive forklift I sometimes use to move engines and parts. So the next morning, when I saw Karen's Porsche Cayenne blocking my garage again, I made my move. She wasn't home, so I calmly used my forklift, gently lifted her Karen, parked it on top of a steel shipping container in my fenced backyard. When she came back hours later and found her car missing, she was in full meltdown mode.
"You stole my car!"
she screamed from the street. I came out, wiping my hands on a rag. "No, I moved it off my property. It was blocking my garage." She went pale when she saw it.
"You're insane. That's illegal."
"So is trespassing," I replied. "But lucky for both of us, I have security footage and a timestamp of you blocking me in. I suggest you stay off my driveway." She called the police. I showed them the footage. They chuckled. One even said,
"Well, technically, he just moved it within his property. Looks like a civil matter."
Karen fumed but couldn't do anything. You'd think that'd be the end of it, but no. The next day, I got a visit from the county. A concerned citizen had reported my forklift as an eyesore and hazard. The inspector came, looked around, and said everything was compliant. Another strikeout for Karen. So I added a gate to my driveway, locked it, and put up a sign. "Private property. Vehicles will be relocated by forklift." Neighbors thought it was hilarious. Some even brought popcorn when she came back to yell at me again. Eventually, she stopped trying. Her car stayed far away from my place after that, but the damage was done. The community knew exactly who she was now, and her fake charm wore thin. At the next neighborhood barbecue, nobody saved her a seat. I thought it was over, but just a week later, I found my fence had been spray painted with "Forklift Psycho." I checked my camera, it was Karen. She claimed she was just expressing herself. I pressed charges. She had to pay for the repainting, do community service, and attend an anger management course. I've since added motion sensors, upgraded my security, and even put a cheeky statue of a forklift in the front garden. Tourists sometimes take selfies with it now. The best part? Karen's now trying to sell her house, but word got around and no one wants to live next to her. So yes, parking across my garage was a mistake.